Look, I don't know your spelling aptitude, but Skechers most definitely put the S in comfort. Because Skechers is the comfort technology company, and Skechers has developed fits and features that change everything you know about comfort. We're talking fits like Relax Fit, Arch Fit, Massage Fit, Stretch Fit, and more. And comfort features like Skechers' exclusive world-famous air-cooled memory foam. Or hands-free Skechers slip-ins, the ultimate in comfort and convenience. It's footwear you just step into and they're on, just like that. No touching your shoes, no bending down. Come on, how comfortable is that? Now, if you still don't believe me, and you don't understand how Skechers put the S in comfort, there's only one thing left to do. Go try your own pair of Skechers. See for yourself how Skechers put the S in comfort. Find Skechers, including slip-ins, at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Hey, this is Jen Latta. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. The biggest sports stories of the week.
I think that is the attitude you should have. But if the first thing you bring up when you look at the standings is Craig Counsell, then he has real estate in your head.
I don't think you can even argue.
No argument.
The Green Bay Packers
argument
were
the way it ended. But like I just said it, like they were 7-8 last year against everyone besides the Bears, right?
Unique and compelling analysis and opinions when it comes to your favorite teams.
As much as they want, because both teams are good and that game to be those two.
Kyle, you're not feeling this.
Jason knows I'm not feeling it.
Kyle and I have already had this argument.
Yeah.
You hate that I feel
What else was on the WB back then? What else did I miss?
You probably saw the Wayans brothers, right?
Yeah.
The Jamie Foxx show. Come on now, Craig. Come on, Craig. You know the Jamie Foxx show?
No.
You know
This is Sunday Karma, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue. Here's GKB founder and CEO, Craig Karmazin.
No Craig Karmazin today. Greg Scalzo, your cousin sub of the day. Am I technically a cousin sub if I'm on the show? No.
You're just doing your job.
I know, but now I am filling in for Craig.
Yeah.
Craig is out. The intro, which I don't think we've changed, still
Kyle,
says,
when are we updating
here
that?
is
that is Ashton's
founder
responsibility.
and CEO, Craig Karmazin. I am not Craig Karmazin. However, this is Sunday Karma. I'm Greg Scalzo here with the rest of the crew. Alex Strofe, the world's greatest producer, Kyle Wallace, working it behind the glass there. And, of course, you.
I'm just as good as Alex.
That's not accurate.
I
at all.
am just as good as Alex. The amount of times that Alex has delays for us and the amount of stuff I got to ask him for.
I don't like that your goal is just as good. You should say I'm better than Alex.
Oh, no. See, I'm a realistic person. I'm a realistic person. I'm just as good as Alex.
If he sticks at just as good, that means he knows he's not as good, but I appreciate the confidence nonetheless. Good to see you, Kyle. We are 2 minutes. We are 2 minutes into the show. You have both deflected responsibility on creating a new open, and then tried to take a shot at me within the first 120 seconds.
It had been discussed with executive producer Ashton Rotman in the past that I am not responsible for updating the show.
That's interesting because for Kyle Bruston Norman, I am responsible.
Oh well,
so
it's interesting.
Fascinating.
That's interesting. I have a lot of other roles than what you have.
I actually don't think any of this is interesting. 800-990-3776. Again, 800-990-ESPN. What's interesting to me is the hope that sprung up mid-college basketball season for two teams that were consistently in the top 20 of the country between Marquette and Wisconsin has resulted in neither of them making it to the second weekend of the NCAA tournament, and the madness in March is dissipated as the Badgers fell to BYU last night, 91-89, and what was a interesting game. It really was an interesting game, to use that word once again. It was high scoring, obviously, when you're talking about a game that produced 180 points as the total. BYU seemingly couldn't miss, controlled the entire game. Wisconsin with a late run that resulted in them having the final possession with 12 seconds left, down by 2 with a chance to tie or win the game, and yet they fell short. 91-89. They lose to BYU. That coming a day later than Marquette only putting up 66 points, losing to New Mexico, the 10 seed, 75-66 on Friday. And here we are as Wisconsin sports fans with nobody to root for on the Sunday, 3 days in to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, that's ideal. We were talking before the show, Greg, and I said to you, last night's game just epitomized what being a Wisconsin sports fan is. You enter with hope, you lose hope, they find a way to bring back hope, then you lose hope again, and then all of a sudden they have the ball with a chance to win the game with the shot clock off. One last shot, and ultimately John Tonje can't connect. I am frustrated, obviously, with the loss for the Badgers and for Marquette, but I am specifically frustrated with the way the Badgers went down. And it's not because of all the excuses I've been reading online the last 12 hours, which I need to delete Twitter after what's occurred the last 12 hours. All the excuses of, it was a home game for BYU. No, it wasn't. It was a 7.5-hour car ride from BYU's campus to Denver, Colorado. Get that out of here. It was badly officiated. It was officiated poorly, sure, but it was officiated poorly on both sides. The matter of the fact reason is this. The Badgers weren't good enough last night. They were the better seeded team. They were the better basketball team. They lost the game. They missed layups in the first half. They missed free throws, which was uncharacteristic. There was a technical foul on the Wisconsin bench. There were tons and tons and tons and tons of opportunities to take the lead and win this game, and the Badgers just didn't execute. I don't think that falls on Greg Gard. I don't think that falls on John Tonje. I think there were plenty of opportunities to win that game last night, and that's the frustrating part to me. But for all the people that now are taking victory laps because they say Greg Gard isn't good enough, that's frustrating because the fact is he is good enough. He's a really good basketball coach. This is a team that was picked 12th in the Big Ten before the season. They were one of the best teams in the Big Ten all year long. You had one of the greatest transfers in college athletics history. I will go that far with John Tonje. He was the Russell Wilson of Wisconsin basketball this year. That's how good he was, and he was that good last night, scoring the most points a Badger ever has in a tournament game. 37 points last night for John Tonje. Wish it would have been 39 or 40, but that's beside the point. All in all, this was a successful season for the Badgers, given what it was. Disappointing, yes, but also successful.
I agree with most of what you say. I'm not going to take the bait on the Russell Wilson comp because that's one step too far for me.
If he got to the Sweet 16, was it fair? If they made it to the second weekend,
if they made it to like the Final Four, it would be fair.
Okay,
Russell Wilson was
pretty good.
Russell Wilson was transcendent. He was the greatest. It was the greatest quarterback season in the history of the University of Wisconsin. John Tonje was very good, but it wasn't Russell Wilson.
It's more of the 1 year transfer thing.
I tend to agree with the majority of what you're saying. I think that a lot of times when you get into the NCAA tournament, when you get into March Madness, the idea of losing to a lower seeded team feels so significantly worse. The Badgers were a 1.5-point favorite. They were probably, the 11th or 12th ranked team in the tournament. BYU was probably the 20th or 21st ranked team, 21st or 22nd ranked team in the tournament. There's not that big of a gulf between them. BYU was extremely athletic. They pushed pace. That's a very good team. What I will agree with you on is BYU shot the lights out. I mean, they shot 46% from three. They dominated the paint, and they had guys step up who you wouldn't have expected to step up. You had a guy who was shooting 20% from three the entire season, hit a massive deep three with 2 minutes left, and sometimes college basketball in general is a make-or-miss game. And the Badgers missed, and BYU made it. But ultimately, it came down to a final possession with a chance to tie or win the game. You put it in the hands of your best player, which is exactly what you want to do, and he didn't get the call, which is kind of what he was looking for. He got stuck, he didn't make the shot, and the Badgers ended up falling short. I don't think that is a damning game for Greg Gard. I think that Greg Gard is the reason why Badgers fans should feel confident about this program moving forward, because even when the cupboard gets emptied, he still has the ability to give his team a chance to win. And what I don't think is gone recognized is how much Greg Gard has evolved, how he has built this program to the point where the Badgers scored 89 points in the NCAA tournament. They gave up 91. I get that. But they scored 89 points. The defense was not good enough last night, but I do think that a lot of that was a result of them missing shots, of them turning the ball over, and ultimately of them, giving BYU opportunities to get down court with a head of steam. And look, certain guys didn't step up, right? Mm-hmm. Crowell was the only one really in that first half that stepped up. Klesmit was inconsistent. He had some big threes, but at the same time, there was points where it didn't look great. The bench was horrible. They were 1 of 9 from the field. And it didn't look like some of those bench guys who needed to step up, stepped up in a way that BYU, which is, I think they have the fourth oldest team in all of college basketball, like they were prepared. Even their bench guys were prepared. But it was a coin flip game when it came down to it at the end. It didn't feel like it, and the Badgers ended up losing. 800-990-3776. Again, 800-990-3776. Are you concerned at all about the future of Wisconsin basketball? How do you view this season? Do you view it as a success? Because ultimately, yeah, I view it as a very successful season for the Badgers with a disappointing tournament loss. And I know that oftentimes you say that too many times about this Badgers team, but like that's the reality of college basketball unless you're one of 5 programs.
Correct. And I understand it's contradictory to say it was successful but also disappointing, but that's just what this season was. I don't think any of us went into this season for the Wisconsin Badgers going, hey, they're going to be a 3 seed. They're going to be really good this year. They're going to be competing for a Big Ten championship again. Like that wasn't the expectation at all. You lose a majority of your roster, including AJ Storr, who we thought was this awesome player out of the transfer portal last year for them. You got to replace him. You lose your 3-year starting point guard in Chucky Hepburn, and this team finds a way. You used a word, Greg, evolve, right? The way Greg Gard has evolved over the course of the last couple of years. He's a guy, and I've said this a million times on this show when we talk Badgers hoops, but he's a guy before this season that I think would have been, he could have sat back and said, I lost everybody. This new era of college basketball sucks. He could have taken the Tony Bennett route, right? With that Tony Bennett took at Virginia, just said, I can't do this anymore. But he said, nope, we're going to evolve. We're going to change our style of play offensively, bringing in Kirk Penny as one of the assistant coaches. We are going to hit the portal, and we are going to find diamond in the roughs that evolve into our identity, right? John Tonje
we
being
found
that
what we could afford.
Yeah, and John Tonje was one of the best players in the country, Kyle. He's an All-American.
I mean, diamond in the rough. I mean, you found what you could afford. That's what it is. I'm sure John Tonje wasn't their first option, first choice, was he?
I mean, I think their first choice would have been to keep Storr, to keep Chucky Hepburn, but Tonje was better than both of them this season.
Significantly better than both of them. Significantly.
So it doesn't matter if you can figure out a way to plug guys into your system to make them work. That's what Wisconsin's going to have to do. Now the question is, to your point, Kyle, are the Badgers going to be able to keep John Blackwell?
Yeah, and it's a fair question.
No, they have to keep John Blackwell.
Have to find a way.
In order for this team to have a chance, because John he's ready. Like, he's ready to step up. And the great thing about it is he got to be around a guy like Tonje that can teach him about how to be a veteran, right, as he's evolving, and he had his role on this team this past season. You got to keep John Blackwell. You got to find a way to keep Nolan Winter as well and add some pieces, because you do have some young guys on this team that are going to emerge next year as well for the I won't say Green Bay Packers, for the Wisconsin Badgers as well. So for me, I'm not actually mad about this. This is what happens, right? In March comes around, the Wisconsin Badgers give me heartbreak. See, last year what was so disappointing is they got put out in the first round, but they didn't perform very well, right? You lost to a 12 seed. This is on par, right? You go back to when they were in the Sweet 16, it was still heartbreak. Like, it was heartbreak 2 years in a row 4 years in a row for the Wisconsin Badgers. This is Wisconsin Badger basketball I'm used to. Now, I want us to make a Sweet 16 run, but I'm appreciative that this team is actually going in the right direction, whereas when I look at a Wisconsin Badger football program, I can't say they're going in the right direction. A year ago at this time, I was saying fire Greg Gard. But now I'm like, okay, I'm optimistic for what the future holds with Greg Gard. Based off what you said, Strofe, he was able to reinvent himself. He didn't become stagnant and said, well, we got to find guys that fit this swing offense and, moving slow. No, he said, you know what, We're going to turn the pace up. We're going to score more points, and look how they evolved. And if anybody is watching Wisconsin college basketball right now, people who watched that game yesterday, kids are like, oh, man, they got up and down. That was fun. That was a really good game. And that's what you want. You want to be able to attract kids. And I feel like at this point now, Wisconsin has an opportunity to attract more talent around the nation, but more importantly, I'm going to tell you this. Wisconsin high school basketball is a hotbed, because if you put, I can't say his last name, but you put the kid Milan from Iowa State that's going to be playing here today.
Shilovich.
If you put him on a Wisconsin Badger basketball team, which I have no idea why they don't recruit him, you're talking about a team for sure going to the Sweet 16, right? So now Wisconsin is going to put themselves in a position where kids who say, well, I don't want to play in that slow offense, is not going to get me ready for the NBA. You're going to have some local kids who are going to say, maybe I do want to stay here and play at home. So I'm excited for the future for Wisconsin Badger basketball, because I think Greg Gard did exactly what he needed to do to evolve and get better and be more attractive.
It's really well said. It becomes an attractive place to play. Now, ultimately, your earlier point, Kyle, on the moolah is going to matter a little bit too, right? Especially when it comes to recruiting in the portal.
Open pockets. Points are sexy. People are now going. The football team right now is in a bad spot. If they are bad again this year and they end up keeping their head coach, guess where some of that money going to go to?
Basketball.
Greg Gard. I know I would. I want to win basketball games.
Slow down. There's only one Wisconsin alumni on the panel today. That's Greg Scalzo.
Yeah, where you putting your money at, Greg?
I mean, I think the money's going to keep flowing to football. It just is. That's where the majority of the
You're not
fandom
gonna make
is.
a donation to your buddy Greg Gard?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, normally I push it towards guarding against cancer. His nonprofit.
Yeah,
But
do both.
We'll work on what that looks like. Look, I think.
Forget the college fund for the children. We're trying to win games now.
All right. Yeah, don't put in your 529. We need the Badgers to end up winning some basketball games today.
You know what makes your kids happy? Watching them grow up, watching the Badgers be good.
My kids will be happy if I'm happy, and I'm happy if the Badgers win some basketball games. I like that.
You can get a college degree from anywhere. Don't worry about that. They're going to the cheapest school in Wisconsin.
Senator Stevens' point. I turned out fine.
Yeah, sure. Yep, something like that.
Yep,
the jerseys too, I think, have taken a step up. The jerseys look good.
Yeah,
like
agreed.
that. That's going to attract some talent. 800-990-3776. The Carbless talking text line. Call us, text us. How do you feel after a disappointing loss last night? I still feel good about this team. I do think that this model that they're going to continue to perpetuate at Wisconsin is going to be to find older guys who can play in these mid-major programs and elevate them with the Badgers. And I think that they are going to have to stick with what they afford while still trying to develop those players that they have. And that can be a recipe for them to continue to duplicate. But it does create some really boring NCAA tournament basketball because all of these mid-majors that used to be good, that used to be like, oh, you built something at Loyola Chicago, right? Because you've got these guys that were in your program for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Now none of them are staying because they're going to go and take whatever money they can get at the major programs. And now you get very little upsets. You get a lot of chalk. You don't get a lot of exciting tournament basketball. And that's what we have been dealing with here. We'll come back. We'll continue to talk Badger basketball. We'll take a look at Shaka Smart's disappointing run in the NCAA tournament because I think it was unfathomable a year ago right now that Badger fans were more excited about the future of their team with their coach than Marquette fans with the future of their team with their coach. I think that Marquette fans might be taking it a step too far. I'll tell you why next. It is Sunday Karma across ESPN Wisconsin.
This is Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com. What happens when you mix a 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year with a Packers Hall of Famer?
I always loved the line, I'm not here to prove them wrong. I'm here to prove us right.
But that's from a non-petty person. A petty person would never say that.
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Is that why Tom Petty was playing when you kicked that guy?
Yeah, that's Petty. Matchbox 20.
Kurt Petty.
Catch him from 9 to noon right here on 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
It's what you wait for all week. The three-pointers, the rebounds, the thrill of every shot. Win or lose, it's the hope that keeps you coming back. The dream that this time, it might be your year. And so you represent with anticipation and with pride. Because when the pressure's on, your support is everything. That's why the NBA Store is here to support you. Check out the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAStore.com. A Fanatics experience.
Fisco is always there for your auto body care. When accidents happen, Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin is there when you need them. Got a broken mirror? They'll take care of it. Dented bumper? Scratch paint? Fisco Auto Body will take care of it. If there's any damage you need fixed, Fisco has you covered. Their expert workmanship is guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. So stop in for all of your auto bumps and dings. Once again, you know the line. That's Fisco.
Why is life better with American Family Insurance? Because every policy comes with something very special. A trusted agent who's there to help protect your dreams by finding the right coverage at the right price. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hey, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Kyle Walsh for Universal Windows Direct. Tax season is here, and what better way to reinvest in your home than with brand new energy-efficient windows? During Universal Windows Direct tax time sale, you can save big now. Right now, buy 2 windows, get 2 free, and there's no limit. Need 4? You only pay for 2. And here's something that will make your wallet even happier. Pay no interest until 2030. Schedule your free in-home estimate or visit universalwindowsdirect.com, and like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Are you ready to shake things up at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee? All you gotta do is toss your rewards card into your favorite slots for drawing entries and a chance to be in the Roll for Riches game show. What's on the table? Oh, just $300K in cash and prizes. Play this March, and Thursday nights, you could get on a winning streak that, frankly, you deserve. Let it ride and roll for riches. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA and founder of the Neal Group. Happy New Year. How's business? Do you really know? We recently worked with several clients who thought they knew, but they didn't because their books were not in order. Imagine thinking you were making $1 million, but because your books are a mess, you were really only making $200,000. Quite a difference. Imagine finding out expenses were not recorded properly or sales were double recorded. If these happen to you, we can help. We work with our clients to clean up their books and give them the information they need to know where their business is now and where it is going in the future. Don't wait. Start on the path to less stress, more cash in your pocket, and no more sleepless nights. Call us at 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net today to book a meeting. We can talk over Zoom, the phone, in our office, or your place of business. Yes, we like to visit our business clients. Don't wait any longer. Call 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net.
Show podcasts, team-centric feeds, and listening live whenever, wherever. All of that in the palm of your hand. The Wisconsin On Demand app, available in the Apple or Android App Store. It's Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
3 days in to the NCAA tournament. Badgers out, Marquette out. Badgers lose in a heartbreaker last night, 91-89. Grinded all the way down to getting the ball in the last possession. Chance to tie it, chance to win it, give it to their senior. One of the great transfers in University of Wisconsin history.
Right up there with Russell Wilson.
And Tonje could not get it done. Badgers fall. And here we are with nothing to root for but our broken brackets.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
It seems to me that we say the same thing every year for all our sports teams. The Badgers fall, the Packers fall, the Brewers fall, and Badger basketball, Badger football. As you were talking about Russell Wilson, in that game, we talked about how that ended. It didn't end with victory, right? We weren't going to win the national championship, but we had a chance to win a Rose Bowl, and we didn't. I don't know. This is just this is exhausting. It really is. I know this was only to go to the Sweet 16, but man, heartbreak just follows Wisconsin sports fans everywhere. Greg, as somebody's from Boston,
ask this question in an accent, please.
Greg, when you guys are in Boston, so as a Boston guy, do you guys look at your Boston teams like, oh my gosh, heartbreak year after year after year after year?
Look, winning a championship is hard. And when you're a good team, right, you have to be good in order to create heartbreak. You have to earn heartbreak. Like if you stink all the time, if you're the Cleveland Browns, if you're the Pittsburgh Pirates, there isn't heartbreak because you never even give yourself a chance to believe. So, I don't think heartbreak is as negative as we think it is, right? It's better to be in a relationship and get your heart broken than to just be lonely your entire life.
Oh, wow.
Are you sure about
never
that?
thought about that.
1,000%, right? Like, would you rather go through your sports fandom never having any hope? Would you rather be a UW Green Bay fan, right? Like, looking down the barrel
tough loss for the women last night, by the way. First round. Outed by Alabama.
Very tough. So yeah, I get the point that you're making, but it's also very difficult to win a championship. I think that your issues could probably be far greater with a team like the Green Bay Packers than they can even like a team like the Badgers or Marquette, right? It's even harder in college basketball, in college football, especially in the way that today's economics is for the Milwaukee Brewers, right? Like the deck tends to be stacked against some of these teams in a way that it's not for the Bucks or for the Packers. Now, the Bucks won a championship in 2021. It's why it was so exciting, because Wisconsin got a true championship. The Packers were going on 15 years now without even getting back to the Super Bowl, despite being the self-proclaimed title town. So I think
that's a shot. Unnecessary. We're down right now. Why
I don't think that's a shot.
You didn't need to say the self-proclaimed title town. You didn't need to say that.
But Kyle, he's right.
Today's not today.
But your championship expectations are higher for a team like the Packers even than a team like the Bucks because of what they are as a franchise, right?
And
that's true.
You know, I had an argument last night because my friends are trolls. I have a buddy who's a Minnesota guy, and he's like, "Well, you just don't understand what it's like to be a Minnesota sports fan." So yeah, you're right. I'm way better than you in everything, right? So to Greg's point, it's better to have loved and lost than to not have loved at all.
To never have loved at all, yes.
Okay, gotcha. I'm a very poetic guy. I don't know if you knew that about me.
Big time.
Yeah, big poetry guy. So the long and short of it is, this stinks. However, it was a really fun, unexpected ride from the Badgers team. Now, when you look at the Marquette side of things, I think this year's a disappointment, right? And I know we'll get into this a little bit more later because we got Jason Wilde coming up in a minute. But Marquette's expectations were much higher than the Badgers were, and they lost in the first round. At least the Badgers won in the first round and were in a game that they probably should have won but lost. And the monkey now is still not off the back for Wisconsin. The monkey for Greg Gard on his back is getting to the second weekend. He hasn't done it since 2017. And
with Bo's guys.
I hate that argument. Don't even do that. Let's shut that argument down right now.
I mean, who recruited those guys?
Greg, who was the associate head coach under Bo Ryan?
Greg Gard. I mean, he did a lot of that work. It's a bad excuse right there.
Yes or no?
From what I was told from a player that played on the Wisconsin Badgers, I won't divulge who that is.
Does his name rhyme with Len Crust?
He said Bo Ryan did all the coaching for those teams. He did all the coaching for those teams.
Yeah, but not all the recruiting.
He helped recruit them, but again, those are Bo's guys. They came in, they played under Bo a little bit. They got that Bo mentality. That's why they made it to the Sweet 16. Those teams, talk about overachieving teams. Those teams were overachieving teams. Those teams lost at the buzzer. They put themselves in a position to win and literally lost. Notre Dame basically at the buzzer, almost at the buzzer. Florida, still at the buzzer. That's why I still have the rotation when the Badgers lose. I just turned the TV off. Last night, what I do, I just changed the channel. Didn't go on social media. I've been doing that since 2017.
Wow. I hate that argument because the associate head coach helps recruit. So let's not call them Bo's guys.
I mean, look, you could take a 5-year span when Bo was doing what Bo did, getting the team, his Badgers team, into a top 4 in the Big Ten, making runs in the Big Ten tournament, and he would go through 5-year stretches where he'd only get to the second weekend one time until he broke through. Yeah. Ultimately, kind of late in that 2010, all the way through the Final Four runs with the 14 and 15 teams. Look. I think that basketball fans in Wisconsin, whether you're a Marquette fan or a Wisconsin fan, should feel pretty good about the two coaches that you have. Definitely. Again, it is a
two coaches for what? Marquette. Okay, Marquette.
Marquette. Yeah. I mean, the tournament the tournament resume for Shaka might be more disappointing, right? Since 2016, right? He lost in the first round to an 11 seed.
Talking about Texas?
18, yep, at Texas, lost to a 7 seed in the first round. Then in 21, lost to a 14 seed in the first round. Then in 22, lost to an 8 seed in the first round. Then in 23, lost to a 7 seed in the second round. He did make it to the second weekend last year in that Tyler Kolek run, and then lost to a 10 seed last year in the first round.
Yeah, they wanted to run him out of Texas. Texas. He left before he got fired.
Yeah, but it was ultimately because of the performance in the tournament. And so I think when all is said and done, you have two coaches that know how to run a program that are going to give you hope once you get to that place. And the idea of giving yourself hope and getting knocked out in a single elimination tournament, I mean, for the Badgers, right? You're talking about a team that was fourth in the Big Ten. They got to the Big Ten championship game and then ultimately lost in a one-possession game to a team that is pretty much their equal to get to that second round. It's not like they were outclassed at any point where you're saying, well, that's not a team that can get to the second weekend of the tournament. They just did it. And ultimately, right, these coaches are reliant on the players making shots and the players doing the right things. Their job is to put these players in the right position. You want to talk about poetry? The great Robert Hunter once wrote,
oh, here we go.
That you who choose to lead must follow, but if you fall alone, right? So, these coaches ultimately are reliant on the players, but when they fall short, who gets blamed? Not the players, it is the coaches. And that is the responsibility in which they bear, but you have to take it with some degree of context in the sense that, they're still good coaches. Would you want to trade Shaka Smart or Greg Gard for anybody else in today's day and age?
Wait a minute. Yes, I would trade them for some people.
Outside of your top 5 college coaches, right? The guys that you can't get.
Outside the top 5 coaches.
Right, you're not going to get
Pitino, you're not getting Calipari.
Yeah, I'm going to say Coach Cal is pretty
impressive. You're not
impressive.
getting Self, right? You're not getting those guys. You're not getting John Shire. No, I mean, especially Greg Gard.
But I mean, BYU has a first-year head. Granted, I'm good with Greg Gard. BYU has a first-year head coach who I believe came from the NBA.
But Greg Gard has proven so much in the last couple of years. The thing with Shaka and the reasonable knock at this point on Shaka is he hasn't been able to do it through the portal. He got Tyler Kolek early through the portal, but that was still a guy he was able to develop.
Though? He was able to keep most of his guys.
Yes,
he kept all of them.
Yeah,
he kept everybody from last year.
So I mean, that's impressive.
But clearly, it wasn't good enough. It was good enough for a 7 seed and kind of a disappointing Big East season.
I think there should be no argument about Shaka. I was at Marquette working there during the time of the previous coaching staff. And let me tell you, that was dramatic. That was terrible. No, it was. It was bad for business. Shaka is good for business. I'm going to tell you this. This is inside information. Marquette University is had the most applications they had in a couple years. You want to know why? It's because basketball is booming. Their name is booming, and that is good for business at Marquette. The more students you have, the more money you have, and then the more donations you may get, and the more money you can pay these players. So business is booming under Shaka. They're not concerned about that.
We'll get back to college basketball, but coming up next, Jason Wilde joins us right here, Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
It's Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Be the MVP of gift giving with a Milwaukee Bucks gift card. From exhilarating Bucks experiences to unforgettable Fiserv Forum events, your gift card recipient can score tickets to Bucks games and other events through the Ticketmaster box office. Shop exclusive gear at the Bucks Pro Shop or get a favorite snack at Fiserv Forum's concessions. It's a win-win gift that lets them choose their experience. To purchase a gift card, visit bucks.com/gift cards.
For a limited time at Verizon, you can get our best price ever. That's 4 lines on unlimited welcome for just $25 a line per month with autopay plus taxes and fees. You'll also get the new iPhone 16 Pro, 4 of them for the entire family when you trade in up to 4 phones from our top brands. That's a new phone for everyone, only on the network you can count on. Verizon. Visit a store today. 20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply for phone offer. See Verizon.com for details.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
At the Knickerbocker Hotel, we believe your stay should be as convenient and luxurious as possible. Whether you're planning a small meeting or a special event, our versatile space is perfect for any occasion. Start your day with a delicious meal at the Knick Restaurant and Bar, or unwind at the Knick Salon and Spa. Wanting to stay active? Their 24-hour fitness center is always available. If you need something custom made or alterations made, there's a tailor on site. The Knickerbocker, where every detail is designed with your comfort in mind. For more information and to book your next stay, visit knickerbockeronthelake.com.
No shortcuts, no compromises, just the job done right. At Exterior Pros, we don't just meet expectations, we crush them. Every nail, every window, every shingle is a step toward your home's next chapter. From the moment we start until that final reveal, we're committed to making your home better than ever. Quality products and craftsmanship you can count on. Go to the pros for your next project. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274.
Hey Bucks fans, it's Josh DiMaggio. Join me and Michelob Ultra this Friday night at Camp Bar in Wauwatosa for the Bucks game starting at 7. Stop by for a chance to win Michelob Ultra prizes and watch the game. Also enjoy Michelob Ultra at Maxwell's in Cedarburg, Magoo's on the Mound, Stenny's Lake Country, the Sandlots of Salem, and Romine's High Pockets, Milwaukee. I look forward to seeing you Friday at Camp Bar in Tosa, 6600 West North Avenue. It's all brought to you by Michelob Ultra, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Bucks. Enjoy responsibly.
You're back at the gym. Your new gym outfit? On point. Your new sneakers? Baller. You've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with Access Checking. It's maintenance fee-free with no minimum balance requirements. So when you take your first yoga class in 10 months, your body might surprise you, but your checking account won't. You've got this with Access Checking from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
What happens when you mix a three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year with a Packers Hall of Famer?
I always loved the line, I'm not here to prove them wrong. I'm here to prove us right.
But
I
that's
want to
from
make
a
sure...
non-petty person. A petty person would never say that.
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Is that why Tom Petty was playing when you came back on?
Yeah, that's Matchbox 20.
Kurt Petty.
Catch him from 9 to noon right here on 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube. Start the day with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
When you're paid like an A player, you have to play like an A player, not a B player, and he has never played like an A player.
On 94.5 ESPN, streaming on the Wisconsin On Demand app and on video at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Oh yeah. Alright. Feels good.
It's Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Alex Strofe giving grief to Kyle Wallace about the music today. What's going on with that?
This is not grief.
Say it ain't so. The Badgers are done.
Badgers are done. Marquette is done.
Back when Weezer was still good.
We'll hit college basketball, but first we've got Jason Wilde joining us now here on Sunday Karma. Greg Scalzo, Alex Strofe, Kyle Wallace. Jason Wilde, welcome to the program.
I'm sorry, I don't know what show am I on? Craig's not here. I know you guys are like a triumvirate now, but if we're playing Weezer instead of the usual return music that Kyle cues up that more often than not I'm not familiar with, I'm very confused at the moment.
It's a Weezer day instead of a Wheezy day, as in Lil Weezy.
There you go. Nice.
Wow.
Well done.
That was well done. That was very well executed.
Thank you, Jason.
Jason, I want to start not with the Packers, but with former Packer quarterback Aaron Rodgers.
Of course you do.
He does a long, 6-8 hour visit with the Pittsburgh Steelers this past week, and I don't want to prognosticate whether he's going to go there, whether he's not. I want to imagine that he is a Pittsburgh Steeler. How do you think him and Mike Tomlin, who I know he has a ton of respect for, would ultimately do in a working relationship with one another?
A great question. And I'm also super curious if this happens because, as our own Ben Brust has reported, the Packers are going to be going to Dublin to play the Steelers September 28th, I believe, according to Ben's reporting. So this is the second best option after him going to the Vikings, for those of us that are here for the story. Look, if Aaron called me today, which I don't anticipate him doing, and I haven't reached out to him during this process just because I know he's got a lot to decide. But if he did say, hey, you've always given me pretty good advice, what do you think I should do? The first thing I would say is, dude, whatever your new head coach wants you to do. Like, I think we've reached the point where, you tried it your way in New York. That was supposed to be your Tom Brady scenario where, they kissed your feet and did everything you wanted. And it's not your fault it went as poorly as it did. I really don't believe that it is. I think that Achilles blew everything up. And I think if you go back on NFL Plus and you watch him play this past season, not as terrible as that QBR rating that Craig loves so much from ESPN would indicate. Now, that said, I just think that it's time for him to take a different approach. And I think that Mike Tomlin, to answer your question, is someone that has the gravitas that he would say, you know what, I that's good advice, Jason. Jay, I guess he would call me. I'm going to do that because I think he has more really good football left in him. I think we underestimated just how debilitating at age 40 a ruptured Achilles is, and that he needs another. I think he'll be better this season, even though Father Time will have taken another year from him. And I really want to see him play. And I wanted it to be with the Vikings. I still don't believe that door is closed. And I'm very curious to see if he's willing to wait that out. If you look at Kyle, was that you that said,
It sure was.
If you look at the way the Vikings said that, it was more of and again, it's been a while since I've been in the dating game, a very long time. But it was more of not right now, but let me see how this relationship works out first, kind of a thing, right? Like I saw Diana Rossini mention this as well. Like, I just get the sneaking suspicion that he is thinking, all right, they're going to take a look at their young guy, and if he doesn't look good or he has a setback with that knee, they're going to call me again. That's just the vibe I get. I think Diana kind of said the same thing. So the question then becomes, is he, after his visit to Pittsburgh, willing to commit to that place? Or is he going to hold out to see if other options come along? Because we know this. If Joe Flacco can be in demand after he's been sitting on his couch for a while, and there were always debates about whether he was elite or not, then Aaron Rodgers, to a team that has a playoff caliber roster but loses its quarterback, will certainly have some appeal as well. But the bottom line is, to answer your original question, I would hope that if he goes to Pittsburgh, he would say, all right, I've tried it my way. Let's try it Mike Tomlin's way and see if that rehabilitates my image in some people's eyes and leads to more success.
So what you're telling me is Aaron Rodgers is still going to do it his way and drag this out as long as humanly possible until we hit the 11th hour like he does every single offseason.
Well, look, we know he doesn't love the off-season programs, right? I mean, even when he's not disgruntled.
Yeah, we do know that,
And even when things are going well and his team is, doing what he wants, he still goes to Egypt, right?
Yep.
And so I guess my view of it is that he wants to hold out to do what's best for him. And I think if you look at where the Vikings are, I think he probably thinks where's the place where I can most likely succeed? And he thinks it's the Vikings. And so if you were him, look, let's put the shoe on the other foot here. You're a talented guy. We are lucky to have you on our team. But if for some reason you became a free agent, I would argue that staying with us and doing weekly Wildy, or when are we going to? We're due for one of those monthly Wildies,
we'll
or
do one
whatever
this
we're
week.
calling them. But I would argue that this is a good fit for you. But let's say we got another young up-and-comer. We got Corey Sparks or Wally Lukaczynski that we really like, and we want to give them a big opportunity with ESPN Milwaukee, but we want to see if they can do it.
You see his face right now, Jason. He's just red. He's nervous.
Right, but what I'm saying is that if you know that this is the place that you can best succeed, and then some other radio station comes along in the interim and plays the role of Pittsburgh with you, are you going to kind of, lead them along a little bit because it's not quite as good of a fit? Like, that's my question. Like, I don't think we should fault him for wanting his own best scenario.
Sure.
And I think that's how he views the Vikings.
I
Don't
guess
you agree?
Well, yes, I do. But the way you're explaining it is not the way I guess I viewed it, because they seemed incredibly non-committal to the idea of Aaron Rodgers earlier in the week. It was because let's keep in mind, for those that don't remember last year, Jason, for the Vikings, their plan was not to start Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold was not their guy last year. It was going to be J.J. McCarthy's team right out of the gates, and then what was it, an ACL or an Achilles that he suffered in preseason?
No, I actually know all about this because Maddie tore her meniscus. And Doc McKenzie wanted to trim it, and we got a second opinion, and the guy up here who was trained by the Vikings doctors wanted to repair it.
Okay.
Which ultimately, after Doc McKenzie did the surgery, it would not have been repairable. So it would have been a mistake to do that. But the Vikings doctor, from what I understand, believes in repairing meniscuses, and then he had some setbacks with it. And by having it repaired, it shut him down for the whole season, whereas had he had it trimmed, he would have still played last season. So they made that choice. He takes basically a medical red shirt for his first NFL season. And now, and this is my point, is that, look, maybe Kevin O'Connell sees everything he needs to from a health perspective and from a skill perspective in that offense. And Aaron Rodgers ends up out in the cold because they're like, yeah, we like the kid. We're going with him. We don't want Aaron Rodgers. So, go on a sabbatical or go on an ayahuasca retreat or whatever you want, because we're going with our guy and we're going to sign Ryan Tannehill to be his backup. Then Rodgers. Then where does that leave Rodgers?
That's my point, right? Like that's why I think waiting is bad.
Right. Well, but
he's going to end up a Tennessee Titan.
Right, or somebody else's quarterback gets hurt, and he ends up with an opportunity somewhere else. Right? Like I don't know what the future holds, but my gut tells me that he does not see the Steelers. He sees the Steelers as like somebody that he would work for if he really needs a job, but he doesn't really need a job.
It's not like he's walking into Las Vegas with the Raiders or New Orleans with the Saints, teams that can't get it right over and over and over again. He's going to maybe the most stable head coach and one of the most stable franchises in the entirety of the NFL. That seems like a pretty damn good opportunity and a no-brainer to me. But it seems to me like he wants to do it his way again. And to your point at the beginning, if he was to call you for advice, his way didn't work. It seems like a no-brainer to me. But maybe I'm simplifying it too much.
Well, so you follow the Packers very closely.
I do.
Who's had a better success rate since Super Bowl 45, the Packers or the Steelers?
It's the Packers, but I don't think it's as wide of a margin as you think it is.
Well, my point is that, yes, the Steelers seem to always be in the conversation of, hey, they had a good season. They were above 500. They made the playoffs. But what of significance have they done since then? Like they're kind of that team that, yeah, well, they're not bad, they're not mediocre, but they're not great. They're just
but
pretty good.
You take a guy like Aaron Rodgers who views himself as the second coming of God, and he's going to elevate that team.
That's a little unfair. That's a little unfair. Yeah,
is it unfair?
I do. I think you could make the argument that what the Steelers seem to have been missing since Ben Roethlisberger is competent to above average quarterback play. So I get that argument, but I also see what Jason's saying as we're talking with Jason Wilde here on Sunday Karma across ESPN Wisconsin, in case you're wondering, like Jason was, exactly what show this is right now. I also do think that the opportunity to be in a Arthur Smith-led offense with the Pittsburgh Steelers, which is a very defensive-oriented organization with a defensive-minded head coach, or to be with Kevin O'Connell and have an offense that just got Sam Darnold paid the way he got paid with the league's best wide receiver. If you were to give any quarterback those two options, sure, the Steelers feels comfortable and high floor, but the ceiling for Rodgers to have a bleep you season to everybody like you who doubts him is significantly higher with a team like the Vikings.
I don't doubt him.
Can I get an amen?
I think he's
amen.
Well done. I still think he's got tread left on the tires. But this is the same guy that also, and I mean, maybe we shouldn't view it the way of, oh, he's literally going in the same exact path as Brett Favre. He said he didn't want to be Brett Favre. This is the Brett Favre path. Now, I understand it's different. It is an appealing situation. It's an appealing offense. But it's also a team that wanted this J.J. McCarthy to be their quarterback a year ago. I don't think they're going to change their tune just because Aaron Rodgers at 41 years old is interested in the opening. I could be wrong on that. I think you go to Pittsburgh, you speak with Arthur Smith, you speak with Mike Tomlin, you realize the stability that's there and the opportunity that's there. They've made moves this offseason that say, hey, whichever quarterback comes in here is going to be a little bit more comfortable now. You have George Pickens and DK Metcalf, two guys that are great with 50-50 balls, two high-end wide receivers. I get that the 1-2 punch in Minnesota is debatably a little bit better.
Debatably?
A little bit?
What are you talking about?
Man, Jordan Addison's only 2 years in. I think you have more proven commodities with Pickens and Metcalf.
No.
Do you think? Let me ask you this, Stroke.
Justin Jefferson is by far the best receiver in this conversation. I'm not disagreeing.
You think Pickens is better than Addison?
Go ahead, Jason.
No, I don't. Do you think that those guys, again, given their reputations, and maybe things can change, right? But you're right about 50-50 balls. You're absolutely right about that. Do those two strike you as the disciplined route runners that Aaron Rodgers will demand?
I think they will become that if Aaron Rodgers is in the building.
Why?
Because
why would you think that?
Because people change so much. Like,
I feel like we know what he demands, and obviously, if he's going to sign somewhere, which I think will still inevitably end up being Pittsburgh, he will demand that. He will demand routine. He will demand discipline. And that's what Aaron Rodgers expects. I think that's completely fair coming from a four-time MVP.
Well, and in fairness to you, I think you're probably right if he wants to work. The Steelers make sense. But again, I'm not saying he's ending up in Minnesota. What I am saying is from the 30,000-foot view without having spoken to him or corresponded with him at all, I think there is part of him that wants to see if that Vikings opportunity comes. And if the Steelers are willing to wait for him, fine. And if they're not, okay, well, something else will come up. That's the vibe I get, and maybe I'm wrong. We know he doesn't want to go to the Giants, right? Like that would just be playing just to play. The Steelers are a better option than that, but this is the drawback with him for him, is that there aren't a whole lot of places that he can look to and say, this would be a really good fit, right? I think ultimately he went into New York thinking, this is perfect. They got a great defense. I really like Saleh. Turned out maybe he didn't. They've got weapons, young weapons. They're going to do what I want with the offensive coordinator and Cobb and Lazard. I think he thought 3 plays into his first season there, this is going to work. And then he ruptured his Achilles and everything went to hell. And so I think he's probably looking at it as, I'm going to be selective. I don't need to play. I want to play, but I don't need to play. and I think that's going to be kind of his process. And we'll see if I'm right. And if he signs with Pittsburgh tomorrow, then you will have been right, and I will be very excited for that Ireland game.
Jason, we got to take a quick break. Will you be able to join us on the other side?
Yeah, I'm in my laundry room instead of being in a gymnasium for gymnastics or volleyball or basketball. I am unfettered today. I just have a to-do list. That's all I have. So, yes,
perfect.
I'd love to stick around.
Because we know that Alex Strofe does not know how to evaluate wide receivers, and we want to ask you about Brian Gutekunst doing the same thing. So we'll do that next. Sunday Karma across ESPN Wisconsin.
You're listening to Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com. Will the green and gold rise to the next level, or will they stay in limbo?
I'm in a downer spot as it pertains to the Green Bay Packers. Are they going to be bad? No. Are they going to win a championship? No. Are they going to be somewhere in the middle? Yes. And that just feels like I just did that. I feel like I'm in the same place that I was. They're going to win 9 to 12 games, somewhere in that range.
Get all your Packers predictions here. Kyle Bruston Nortman. Weekdays from 2 to 5 on 94.5 ESPN and streaming live on the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channel.
Get off the bench and into the game. Score a deal with the March Mania sales event. This month at Cunis, we have high-flying new vehicle specials at your Milwaukee Metro Region dealerships in Oak Creek and Greenfield. Get huge discounts on the Buick Envista and Envision SUVs or the rugged GMC Terrain and Sierra. Thinking pre-owned? Visit our website for a slam dunk deal on one of our 10 pre-owned super specials. Plus, our service specials on brakes, tires, and oil changes are nothing but net.
I'm Brian Bone, General Manager of Cunis of Oak Creek.
And I'm Bill Eater, General Manager of Cunis of Greenfield.
We would like to invite you to take advantage of these great monthly specials.
And remember that your vehicle will be covered by our exclusive No Fear Lifetime Powertrain Warranty, included with new and qualified pre-owned purchases.
Call or stop in today for your VIP appointment.
Embrace March Mania and score a deal this month at Cunis. Start your search online at CunisBuickGMC.com.
Hey, it's Brad Nortman, and I've got to tell you about my go-to car wash, Tsunami Express. Get your ride looking its best and ride the wave at Tsunami Express Car Wash, Milwaukee's fan favorite for that perfect shine. Sign up for a monthly membership and enjoy unlimited washes for less than $1 a day. Skip the wait with the fast lane and take advantage of great perks. With locations in Midtown Milwaukee, Waukesha, Greenfield, Oak Creek, and Mount Pleasant, Tsunami Express has you covered. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat. Visit TsunamiExpress.com to learn more.
Comes to offering medical coverage to your employees. Saganiac Planning can coach you on ways to balance costs and prioritize care for your employees with coverage provided by United Healthcare. Call Steve Fluellen, 262-783-6161, 262-783-6161. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service. Insurance coverage provided by or through United Healthcare Insurance Company or its affiliate. Administrative services provided by United Healthcare Services, Inc. or its affiliate. Health plan coverage provided by or through United Healthcare of Wisconsin, Inc. The Saganiac Planning Marquette Basketball Greatest Scorers. The Marquette Greatest Anything must include Dwayne Wade, but he only played 2 seasons, so he can't match the numbers of those with 3 or 4 years. But Wade is the leader of the 2-year club. Career average 19.7, among the best ever. Similar to Jim Jones' 2 years, 19 a game. And 2-year club, add Andrew Rousey. Like Wade and Jones, a season averaging over 20 points per game. Dwayne Wade, Jim Jones, Andrew Rousey, among the greatest scorers with only 2 seasons of play.
An infrared sauna in your home? Turn that dream into a reality with Good Health Saunas. ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta here. My infrared sauna from Good Health Saunas has changed my life. An easy-to-install sauna that's great for post-workout, travel, or long-day detoxification. See their variety of sauna options at the Realtors Home and Garden Show, March 21st through the 30th at State Fair Park, or visit goodhealthsaunas.com/Jen and get $500 to $800 off. That's goodhealthsaunas.com/Jen.
Now see your favorite 94.5 ESPN show streaming on video. Subscribe to ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube and get notified when we hit the air live. Plus, you can watch back any second that you miss. Watch, listen, interact. ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube. It's Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
As younger.
Kyle bringing different vibes this morning.
I like it.
Yeah?
I didn't know you had this in your bag.
Come on now. I went to Whitefish Bay now. I grew up in the city, but I'm a suburban educated child.
Kyle Wallace, Greg Scalzo, Alex Strofe with you. No Craig Karmazin today. It is Sunday Karma. We bring back Jason Wilde, who you listen to every day, 9 to noon across ESPN Wisconsin on Wilde and Tausch. And, of course, when Strofe feels like it, the weekly Wilde program as well on our YouTube property.
Jason's a busy guy. I wanted to give him a little bit of a time to unplug following the NFL season. You don't think you're busy?
I am, but I'm not too busy for you. Hey, quick question before we move forward.
Yeah.
Do you dislike Aaron Rodgers at this point, Strofe?
I dislike him off the field. I still love him on the field.
That seems like a hair that you're splitting because your tone when you talk about him feels very much like
I'm just sick of it. I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of him being the centerpiece of everything that goes on in the National Football League when we are in a down period. Like make a decision.
Okay. And you were too young in 05, 06, 07.
No, I remember Favre. I remember Favre.
Well, that's how he was too.
I know.
Worse though.
He was. I totally agree. He was worse. But I'm just sick of it. Like I this isn't my drama anymore, but it's still my drama, if that makes sense.
But like sick of what? Especially for what we do every day. Drama is key. Like it's like being upset that the same soap opera star is creating drama, and you're like, man, why is this character continuing to create all this drama? Like you just want nothing to be interesting in the offseason?
To use an analogy of my soap opera, WWE, Aaron Rodgers has become a heel, and it was a bad guy.
Yeah.
And
thanks for explaining that.
Well, for those like Jason that don't watch WWE, I figured that's necessary. I
like that word's only used in the WWE. Continue.
I'm sick of you.
It's like Ben Bruss 2.0, Jason.
He's my favorite player of all time, probably, and that's what makes me frustrated. Is because he's so great, but I think he gets in his own way of people appreciating his greatness often because of antics like this. And maybe this is a strong example, but there's better examples that we don't need to hash through. I just want him to go somewhere stable and play well because he's still capable of it. And I think we saw flashes of that last year in New York where it was like, okay, he's still got his fastball. And dragging this out until June is just irritating to me. So that would be my tone. I apologize. I'm probably lashing out to Aaron a little bit.
Best for him. That's nice.
Yeah, I just want what's best. I just want him to be great, Jason. And I'm probably lashing out a little bit because I'm irritated about how the Badgers lost last night. So anyway, Greg, move on to what you'd like to move on to.
Well, I mean, I think the wide receiver position is an interesting one. And again, thank goodness that the Packers don't have Alex Strofe picking them because he'd take DK Metcalf and George Pickens over Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison.
What I said. I didn't say
you
Justin
did.
Jefferson.
You said the two of you said they had better wide receivers. But I want to talk to Jason a little bit about where he thinks the Packers' strategy is around the wide receiver position. I think Packers fans expected them to try to do something this offseason to bring in somewhat of a number one wideout. Obviously, with the injury to Christian Watson, he's going to miss at least the first half of the season, and then it takes, to me, usually a full year for guys to come back from an14ACL, even once they hit the field. They add McCole Hardman, which feels just like a shot, maybe a special teams piece. Where do you think Goody is at as far as his strategy when it comes to the wide receiver position for the Packers, Jason?
Yeah, I think he believes that Jaden Reed and Dontavion Wicks are going to become good enough to be, not like Justin Jefferson number ones, but like one-ish. I really do. I think he's convinced of that. And we had a good conversation during the week. I can't remember which show it was on, but about how, Goody basically, when he talked about the urgency, and I knew what he was doing because it was my question. My argument, though, was that when you tell your players that they need to show better urgency, I think it's fair for those of us on the outside, and certainly the players, if they want to think this and not articulate it, to say, well, what about your urgency? I don't think that that's, out of bounds. And, signing a guard to that big of a contract, even though the structure would tell us that really more of a 2-year deal, and we'll see after that. and signing a former nickel guy and seeing if he can do more than that, like Keyshawn Nixon has with Nate Hobbs, that doesn't feel urgency, right? Urgency is acquiring Trey Hendrickson. Urgency is making the DK Metcalf trade. That doesn't mean they'd be the right moves, and maybe that's why we have to give him the benefit of the doubt here. But I understand fans' frustration with this. Look, the wide receiver position, while still important, I think they feel like, if they think Dobbs' concussion issues are not a major concern. I think they feel like they'll get Christian Watson back at the back half of the season and maybe get him at a discounted rate for 2026 on like a one-year deal, and then get the best of him, and maybe then he becomes the player that they've thought he was capable of. And I think they feel like Wicks and Reed are way better than what they were last year, and they weren't god-awful terrible. They just dropped 19 combined passes. I also think that Matt LaFleur is looking at this offense and saying, I need to reimagine what we need to do with this offense. We need to figure out a way to be better on play action with a different run scheme for our stud running back. We need to make this offense revolve around him and around the tight end position, because they think Tucker Kraft is George Kittle 2.0, and they still believe that with some good luck health-wise, that Luke Musgrave, while maybe not a great blocker, can be that really athletic, down-the-seam tight end who can outrun people and make big plays. And so I think they view the wide receiver position as important but not make or break, and that with Jacobs and with their tight end group and the wide receivers playing more of a supporting role as opposed to a starting role, that their offense can be really good. Because let's not forget, for all the criticism, much of it deserved, that Love and this offense got, they still were, 8th in scoring and 7th in yards or something like that. It's not like they were god-awful. And they were one of the most explosive offenses in the league as well. So there's stuff to work with there. I just don't think Goody saw them as so far away at wide receiver that he had to do something that might have been viewed by some as panicky.
So this is the year that
better or worse after that.
What was that right there? Were you reading something else and then he just stopped? Yeah, is that it? You weren't paying attention?
No, I was paying attention. I don't feel better or worse. Okay. Is this
a rough segment for you?
Yeah, I'm just like I said, I was lashing out.
Jason, this is what it is. He's actually scared. That's what he's afraid to say.
Scared is strong.
He's concerned if Aaron Rodgers goes to the Minnesota Vikings. He's going to relive his young childhood. I think he was a young teenager where Brett Favre went to the Vikings, and it was really, really good, and he was able to beat the Green Bay Packers as well. So I think he's just very nervous and scared that he may have to relive something that happened during his childhood. But Strofe, it will be okay. Aaron Rodgers is old and
but he's still
injured.
good.
Yeah, he's still good, but he's also injured. But also, I think that, and Jason, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that Brett Favre might be a better teammate to ingratiate himself with guys than what Aaron Rodgers would be. Because I feel like Aaron Rodgers is just still kind of like an old curmudgeon.
I don't know. Do you remember that Hard Knocks when he first went to the Jets?
Yeah.
They were salivating over him, but now I feel like
that was a pretty puff piece.
Yeah, they moved over him, and I don't know Aaron Rodgers, what he did last summer. I just feel like
Did you hear what Kurt Benkert talked about Aaron Rodgers?
I did see that. I'm surprised you saw that.
No, I did not. I did not see.
He talked about how great Aaron Rodgers was as a teammate.
I'm just saying at this point, I don't know if he's going to go in there. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought, from my view, when I was young, I thought Brett Favre did a great job of bringing that Brett Favre energy and love and passion for football that made everybody around him on that Minnesota Viking team that much more excited. Like, that was a good football team, but, I mean, this team's a lot better what Minnesota has now, especially offensive weapons, except for running back. But I just think that, I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is not going to wear out his welcome by the time they get to Week 15 and things aren't going the way they expected.
Yeah, I thought in 2023 when he went to the Jets, we all have this person in our lives that is not very good at apologies or admitting that they were wrong. And their behavior tends to be the way that they acknowledge it without having to say it. And I don't think that what you saw on Hard Knocks was phony or acting for the cameras. I think that was Aaron Rodgers realizing, man, I should not have been the way I was in 2022 with those young guys.
Okay.
Because my best wide receiver was Allen Lazard. And if I'd have been fun Uncle Aaron and embrace that instead of being a curmudgeon, to use your words, maybe 2022 would have gone better. Now, again, he broke his thumb in London, which people always forget. But I think that was his way of saying it. He didn't come to the offseason program in 2022 after getting a $150 million contract. I just think that the way he behaved that first year with the Jets was basically his way of acknowledging, you know what, I really screwed up last year. And I'm not going to admit that, but I'm going to take that lesson and be better with this young team than I was with that young team. And I think if he goes into Minnesota, again, this comes down to, or Pittsburgh or whatever else, this comes down to, is he going to take a different tack in terms of, like, if he's smart, and everyone loves the content at ESPN, but if he's smart, he says, you know, the McAfee thing has run its course. I need to be more about football. I want to make this work. I'm not going to do that, right? That kind of stuff. I do think that would matter, and I think it would send a very clear message about how focused he is on finishing on a really high note. How did we end up back on him?
Because everything comes back to Aaron Rodgers, which is why it's great to still have him in the league. It's great to have him in the league. Jason, we got to hit our 2-minute break here. Thank you so much for the time, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, guys. Take care. Be good.
Thanks, Jason.
More Aaron Rodgers next. Sunday Karma across the ESPN Wisconsin. Back in 2 minutes.
It's Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
She's different and special and loaded with personality.
And there's one more thing, but you can't explain it in words. She's the one.
She's the one.
The one. You know it.
Your friends know it.
The whole world knows it.
We curated a special selection of engagement rings for her.
Can you guess what we call it?
We call it the One Collection by Kessler's.
Because these engagement rings are different.
And special.
And loaded with personality.
And one more thing. But you can't explain it in words.
Engagement rings in the One Collection start at just $725.
But some of them are more.
A lot more.
But we've got you covered.
First, we have 12 months financing at 0%. Or
second, we have 36 months financing at 9.99%, both with approved credit.
Third, we have second chance financing if you need someone to give you a second chance.
And don't forget the Kessler's warranty.
The strongest warranty of any jewelry store in the world.
For the location of the Kessler's nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
My overall experience with Gruber Law Offices has been phenomenal.
The treatment was excellent.
They will be supportive of you. They will listen to you.
It was a great experience knowing that I had people to help me.
I know I could count on them to do what I needed to get done.
Experience with Gruber was great.
They gave me my life back.
It was amazing.
He gets results.
We know how to win. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Gruber Law Offices had my best interests at heart.
Think ski season is over? Well, think again. Granite Peak's bringing you Wisconsin's longest ski season, going strong through April 6th. We're talking spring skiing at Wisconsin's largest resort with live music, fireworks, and endless snow across our incredible terrain. Make it a getaway in nearby Wausau, where comfortable lodging and family activities await. Why travel far when the best spring skiing is right here? Book your ski and stay packages today. Visit skigranitepeak.com for lift tickets and lodging packages. Granite Peak, where winter lasts longer.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune in to Kyle Bruston Nortman every day from 2 to 5. WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Aside from a house or a car specifically, what is the most expensive thing you own? Wendy?
A car.
Name an animal with 3 letters in its name.
Alligator. Name something that's better than being rich.
4. Besides a bird, something in a bird cage.
Hamster.
Something that comes with a summer storm.
Snow.
Something Russia's famous for, Bob.
Russians.
Something a burglar would not want to see when he breaks into a house. Rob!
Naked grandma!
Reason you might stay indoors on a beautiful day.
Because it's raining?
Name something you might buy that could turn out to be phony.
Yeah, a horse.
Name a time that most people get up. In the morning. A time most people go to bed. At night.
This is the 7 at 11 on Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin.
This is Sunday Karma. No Craig Karmazin. I'm Greg Scalzo along with Alex Strofe, Kyle Wallace. And I didn't think we were doing a 7-11 today.
I'm actually incredibly grateful for that open just playing because Greg told me in the break he's going to make his Aaron Rodgers case next. And to be honest, I didn't want to hear that at all.
Oh, we still have time to do it.
So I'm grateful that Kyle Wallace has gone rogue. What's happening?
Well, I don't think I've gone rogue. I just, Oh, do we have a special guest calling in, or do we want to do 7 at 11? Do we not? Is Craig going to help us with that? I didn't know. Anybody talk to Craig?
So Greg and I talked before the show, and I said...
I called one of the producers of the show, and Alex Strofe, and I said, are we doing 7-11? He said no.
I said, typically when Craig has been off, in fact, every time Craig has been off, Kyle and I have not done 7 at 11 because more often than not, Craig is not here, and more often than not, you are not here.
I was wondering if Craig was going to reach out to us on his show to do a special guest. I mean, the NCAA tournament right now is here. He has connections all across the country. Not sure if places like
I don't need to
Iowa.
know the answer. I just need a yes or a no, Kyle. Do we know where Craig is?
I have no idea where. I think he's with his daughter.
If we needed a 7-11, I would have had a great one for today.
Oh, I have one for today.
But I'm saying, like a call in. I would have had a great one this morning.
Really? Who would that have
Do you
been?
want to spoil it or no?
Do you want to tell him to call in now?
It would have been Matt Jones of ESPN Radio.
He's on the air right now.
Kentucky Sports Radio.
Thanks for listening. He's on the air. Him and Myron Metcalf are on the air currently.
You don't think we could have combined it? Combined forces? Done a 7-11 on the national ESPN Radio network?
Their show began at 9 a.m., and they led the show by talking about Matt Jones's night in Milwaukee the other night.
I saw him last night at Potawatomi Hotel Casino.
You did?
Watching the games, yes.
You were hanging out with him.
He looks nothing like he sounds.
I don't think that's true.
What do you mean by that?
We saw him on the stream. He talks like this in real country. He looks like a young man. I thought he'd be like some old Southern looking.
I mean, he's in his 40s.
Yeah, he looks.
He's an incredibly successful individual.
He
as well.
does
Matt
not
Jones
look like he sounds. I first time seeing him when we tried to get him on the stream, and our terrible
we
producer,
had him on KBN on Friday.
We attempted to, and our terrible producer wasn't able to get all the audio and stuff set up, and so we weren't able to have him on video. So we took him off.
So it sounds like we're done with the 7-11 for today. Then.
Well, I have a 7 at 11.
But that's like an old 7-11, the old model of doing it.
I mean, I'll do whatever you want to do, Kyle. You're the producer of the show.
Is it still called 7 at 11?
I have no idea.
We get 7 no's, so yes, I think it is still called the 7
at 11. No.
I feel like Kyle wants to do the 7-11.
Clearly he does, so we should do it.
No, we don't have to do it.
Let's do it.
Okay,
Let's do
all right, fellas. Thank you so much for playing this game here. So for today, in honor of the Wisconsin Badgers constantly breaking our hearts year after year after year, I do want to know this. Who are the 7 Wisconsin Badgers to have the highest scoring single seasons in Badger history?
Frank Kaminsky, final answer.
Frank Kaminsky is number 1 with 732 points.
Alondo Tucker, final answer.
Alondo Tucker is number 2 with 716 points.
John Tonje, final answer.
John Tonje is not on the list.
Yes, he is. He's number 3. You're looking at a bad list.
Single season?
Yes, he's number 3.
How many points does he have?
Over 1,000.
This year?
Correct.
Oh, then he'll be number 1.
Oh, then it's less than 1,000. I saw this list like last week. He's number 3, almost number 2. I don't know if yesterday got him over a lot.
You want to keep rolling, or should I throw a couple guesses?
No, go for it.
Throw some out there.
Those were the 3 I had.
Devin Harris.
Devin Harris currently was number 3 on the list with 624 in 2003-2004.
He averaged 25 points a game. He definitely scored more than 600 points.
I don't know. Listen, I'm going based off the Wikipedia.
Okay.
Oh, so it just hasn't been updated yet.
Okay.
Well, they updated his. Oh no, it has not been updated yet.
Yep,
No,
there you go.
Wait. No, I don't know.
I'm looking into it. Just keep rolling, Greg. What else you got?
I would go. I think this is going to be on there. This is my era of Badger basketball. John Lure.
John Lure is on the list,
call.
number 4 with 621 points.
Just so you know, John Tonje scored 724 points.
That will put him at number 2.
All right.
That's impressive.
Okay, so we got what? We got
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5. We have the top 5.
You're just missing.
This is where it gets
6 and 7.
Very difficult.
I'm not going to say final answer on these, Greg. I just want to talk between you and me for a moment. Do we think Sam Decker was ever good enough to make this list?
I don't.
I don't either. I think he's close.
The players that stick out to me would be Johnny Davis.
Yes, good call. Michael Finley?
Would be Michael Finley. That's what I was going to say next. I feel like we're missing a somewhat obvious one. Let's go Finley.
Michael Finley.
He's like probably one of the best players ever to play.
Michael Finley, number 6 on this list.
Okay. All right, we're missing number 7. Okay, what's the obvious one? Or are you saying you don't know it?
No, I feel like there's one more that I'm just like blanking on that would make sense. I mean, do we go Johnny Davis?
Let me think. I think probably because he was National Player of the Year finalist.
I mean, he was really
scoring machine.
You know, Michael Finley is twice on this list.
I believe that. He was. I mean, he's what? Is he the only guy with his jersey retired? Finley and Frank.
I mean,
Frank got his jersey retired.
Alondo should have his retired.
I don't think his is.
Alondo should. He left after. I don't know if they.
There was a weird exit.
There wasn't a weird exit. It was a fine exit. It's when he came back where it became a weird exit. Coach.
No,
the other one that could be interesting, again, for my somewhat my era, would be Jordan Taylor.
I don't love.
I would go Johnny Davis or Jordan Taylor. Let's go Johnny Davis.
Johnny Davis is number 8 on the list. Jordan Taylor is number 6.
Number 7.
Number 7, because I got to bump everything down. Yeah.
All right, so we got it.
No, you didn't. You didn't get a mulligan. You got it wrong.
I know, but you gave us that last one as far as Jordan Taylor.
You already got it wrong.
I also didn't use my final guess.
What do you mean final guess? Y'all both don't get you guys were just a damn team. You don't get a final guess.
I'm fine with that. My point is you shouldn't have said Jordan Taylor then, so we could have had somebody call in and guess Jordan Taylor.
Oh, we weren't going to do that.
Oh, all right.
We weren't going to do that.
All right. Well, there's our 7 and 11.
This is just for you guys.
Great job, Kyle.
Back with the Badger-themed 7-11 here, Sunday Karma.
It was very much a 7 and 11 on Sunday Karma because Kyle's list wasn't even right.
Well,
I had to tell him his list was
and
right.
Actually, we would have gotten all 7 because Finley or Johnny Davis would have been on the list originally at number 7.
No, you would have gotten it right originally if it wasn't for him. Yeah. Strofe messed you guys up.
So we got the top 8 at 11.
If Strofe wasn't right in terms of bringing Tanjay into the list, we would have gotten all 7.
You would have. You know what's crazy? AJ Storr is on this list as well.
Was he 9?
AJ Storr was number 10 on the list.
Who else fill out the top 10 for us?
Jones. And who is Danny? I don't.
That would
have been a tough one,
right?
Yeah, no, 1980s.
Yeah, 80s.
And then
before I was born, I don't know. It's all the same.
And then I was gonna do all-time leading scorers, but I didn't want to do y'all bogus because I don't know who Claude Gregory is.
That's probably the 60s.
And
maybe the 40s.
And they weren't scoring.
What year did they win? 41?
1941, national champions.
And they probably, literally, I mean, you probably got guys that outscored them by themselves.
And the 2020 ESPN simulated national champions.
That's true. Don't forget about that one.
Yeah.
Ethan Happ, baby.
Yeah, that is right.
Ethan Happ, if he ever was able to develop a jump shot, he could have been just amazing. This team with Ethan Happ would have been nasty.
I don't know if he could have gotten up and down the court, although Stephen Crowell did. So,
but still, they had Stephen
Crowell had that 3-point shot.
Development, man. Come on, Greg Gard. If you can do one thing for me, develop a big guy. Develop a big guy that we always had. We always had a big guy that could be able to shoot a little bit.
I mean, Crowell was that.
Ernie in a barn on the Cardinals Talking text line, 800-990-3776. Kyle just showed how bad of a producer he is. Strofe would never mess up a list. Craig is right.
Thanks, Ernie. Appreciate your support.
Hepa Doobie chimes in. Says, 4th time in the last 5 years, Badgers have lost to a lower seed. This is a pattern. Guard must bear most of the responsibility. Kevin Anderson says, I wasn't expecting much from Marquette this year because the seniors lost last year. They overachieved early with wins over Wisconsin and Maryland, but later they couldn't hang with UConn and St. John's. That Kevin from Washington, an alum from the Al McGuire days. Are you more confident in the future of Marquette with Shaka or more confident with Wisconsin with Greg Gard at the helm? We'll hit that next. We'll also talk a little bit more Aaron Rodgers because how could we not? It is Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin.
This is Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com. What happens when you mix a 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year with a Packers Hall of Famer?
I always loved the line, I'm not here to prove them wrong. I'm here to prove us right.
But that's from a
non-petty person.
A petty person would never say that.
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Is that why Tom Petty was playing when you came back on?
Yeah, that's Matchbox 20.
Kurt Petty.
Catch him from 9 to noon right here on 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Be prepared for power outages with a Generac home standby generator from Adams. Storms are unpredictable, and when the power goes out, your life is disrupted. Heat, air conditioning, refrigeration, phones, all gone. With a Generac generator, your power will be automatically restored whether you're home or away. Rated Wisconsin's #1 Generac dealer, Adams provides sales, installation, maintenance, and 24/7 service from all locations. Learn why Adams is your best choice in providing power peace of mind. Visit adamspower.com today.
Hey, it's Gabe Neitzel from ESPN Milwaukee's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Golf season is going to be here before you know it, so you have to make sure you're ready to go at X Golf in Brookfield or X Golf in Mech 1. Take advantage of the state-of-the-art simulators that they have to make sure your game is in the best shape it possibly can be. Maybe you need a lesson from one of their PGA pros to make sure you're beating your buddies when it's time to play outside. Plus, you can take advantage of the great food and drink specials that they have. Book a tee time today, xgolfbrookfield.com or xgolfmech1.com.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Prize Picks, the best place to get real money sports action. Over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. Simple to play. Pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best way to get action on sports in more than 30 states. The app is really easy to use. To create a lineup, all you have to do, pick more or less on a few player stats for your shot to win up to 1,000 times your money. Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. Join over 10 million users and sign up today. Combine your favorite basketball players with players from baseball and hockey, esports, and much, much more. Second half of the basketball season is here, and the race to the playoffs is heating up on Prize Picks, the best place to cash in on your favorite sports. And don't miss your chance to cash in as the league's best fight for playoff positioning. Download the app today. Use code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
No shortcuts, no compromises, just the job done right. At Exterior Pros, we don't just meet expectations, we crush them. Every nail, every window, every shingle is a step toward your home's next chapter. From the moment we start until that final reveal, we're committed to making your home better than ever. Quality products and craftsmanship you can count on. Go to the pros for your next project. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274.
Hey, I'm Reba McEntire. In life, you'll hear a lot of people tell you that you can do anything you want. I'm here to tell you that's true. Since I was a little girl, I dreamed of becoming a successful singer and entertainer. It took a lot of hard work, dedication, and perseverance to find my success, but it was worth it. I never gave up on my dreams. Remember, you can never have a dream come true until you've had a dream. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
Station updates, show clips, and your place to interact with us every single day just by scrolling through your feed. Follow along on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at ESPN Milwaukee. This is Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Have you got color in your cheeks?
No Craig Karmazin, Greg Scalzo, Kyle Wallace, Alex Strofe with you. Hitting us up on the Carbless Talk and text line. Less is more. 800-990 ESPN, 800-990-3776. Call us, text us. Badgers heartbreaker last night, 91-89. Were down the entirety of the game, battled back to give themselves a shot to win it or tie it in the last possession. John Tonje, after a brilliant season, a 37-point effort last night, could not make the final basket.
That boy balled out, though. I got to give him credit.
He did.
He balled out.
And he started out slow, showed his maturity, kept with it, found his rhythm, and put the Badgers in a spot to win the game late, but could not get it done. A lot of Badger fans frustrated with Greg Gard. A lot of Marquette fans frustrated with Shaka Smart. 800-990-3776. Where's more of your confidence? Is it the future of Marquette with Shaka or the future of Wisconsin with Gardo? Again, 800-990-3776.
It's close, but I'm going to go with Gardo. I think he's shown the evolution that we needed to see because I think, not for me, I'm probably one of, if not the biggest Greg Gard defender on ESPN Wisconsin. This season was a huge prove-it year for him. He needed to show that he's able to evolve with the state of college basketball. And without a morsel of doubt, he proved that he can. Whether it is recruiting in the transfer portal, whether it is an evolution of the offense that he trots out on the court night in and night out. I think this year was a huge prove-it year and a feather in the cap for Greg Gard, despite not getting back to the Sweet 16 for the first time since 2017. When it comes to Shaka, I think there still is plenty of reason to have faith, but to see this senior class walk out with Cam Jones, David Joplin, and Stevie Mitchell, which is the most accomplished senior class debatably in Marquette history.
I don't know about that one.
Well, in terms of wins, they're number one, Kyle.
Listen, I saw Wesley Matthews, I saw Jarrell McNeil, and I also saw Dominique James. And them boys was cold.
No doubt.
They made it.
I don't think any class is going to exceed some of these Al McGuire classes.
Sure.
Back in,
I'm just saying
in the
in terms
heyday.
of wins, they're
Don't know.
That's not the debate I'm trying to get into. I think when it comes to Shaka, this is a crucial offseason for him to show that he's capable of recruiting in the portal and bringing outside guys because, watching what's walking out the door versus what is returning, while you have some really important returning guys and guys that you can have some excitement for that are going to develop, like Chase Ross and Ben Gold and Zayd Lowry, and you get Sean Jones back next year for Marquette. You've got some exciting pieces, but that does not spell national championship Final Four worthy pieces. So I think Shaka has a crucial offseason to go find guys in the portal. And the nice thing for both of these schools, to Kyle's point from earlier in the show, is they both play really appealing brands of basketball. And these are fun cities. These are great college towns. These are terrific fan bases that are selling out arenas night after night for you to play in front of. These are major conference teams. So these are both appealing universities to come play for and good head coaches to come play for. But I think with what Gard and the Wisconsin staff proved this year, Greg, I have a little bit more faith in Greg Gard and the Wisconsin Badgers.
800-990-3776. Let's go to Chris, retired military member. Thank you for your service, Chris. Who are you more confident in, Badgers under Gard or Marquette under Shaka?
That's a hard question. I believe in them both, but the issue with both of them is they don't recruit any physical big men. I mean, Marquette knows they're in the Big East, which is a physical dominating conference. So is the Big Ten. Gard, he just keeps recruiting skinny white guys from Minnesota that never fill out. Same with Shaka. He's got a couple freshmen on the team, but they need to hit the weight room. They need to have four of them stop shooting up threes and learn how to have an inside game because neither one of the teams rebound. Stephen Crow's been a disappointment his whole time. Sometimes he has good games, but he starts getting in with physical guys. He backs away, doesn't shoot, doesn't take shots, starts getting into foul trouble. So both of them need to recruit for their conference, and that's big guys with some beef on them. Look at Michigan, two twin towers, but they both got beef that can rebound, and both teams can't rebound worth a crud.
It's a good point by Chris. I mean, that was the biggest struggle for both of these teams all year long was when they faced a team with physical bigs. And I think your only recent example for Wisconsin was in that Big Ten championship game against Michigan. And they were able to slow them down a little bit, but that was tired legs for both sides. So he's right. Talking on Marquette College Game Day, I joined for a segment on Friday before their game against New Mexico. Cool. We talked about Ben Gold, and I made a comment about how sometimes I think he wants to be a shooting guard more than a true center. And Brian D came up with this term that I loved, and it was calling him a Gen Z big. He wants to shoot threes instead of rebound and crash
Steph
the boards
Curry.
and get inside. Right, a Gen Z
everybody wants to
big,
shoot.
which I thought was a creative way to describe Ben Gold. But that was a shortcoming for both teams all season long. And while it didn't really come out a ton yesterday, you would have liked Crowell to be a little bit more dominant down low, as you probably have wanted for 4 years now, and it just never really came to fruition.
You know,
good point by Chris.
I think he made some great points. He was cooking. He was absolutely cooking, specifically for the Badgers. Now, I ain't going to act like I sit here and follow Marquette basketball that intently. Like, I follow it. But for the Badgers, the big man is the problem, man. Even when they had Michael Potter had a nice little presence that
It's a name
helped.
I haven't heard in a while.
But he came in, he was a transfer, and he did well. He was a big bruising body that was able to contribute down low for the Wisconsin Badgers. And was he part of that 2020 or 2021 team? It was around that time that he was there, and he has, he's gotten some tick in the NBA, right? So they need to find some type of big that can create some type of presence, have some type of aggressiveness. Because when I look at that team from BYU was athletic, but also BYU was extremely active, and BYU also was going and crashing the rebounds. That one kid, Richie, whatever his last name was, that boy,
Richie Saunders.
Richie Saunders was everywhere. That kid, Keita, whatever.
Why'd you say it like he was from Boston?
I don't know, because he said Saunders, and I thought he was saying Saunders. But he's not from there. He's from the Mormon land, it seems like.
They kept saying his dad was taking him to the gym at the church gym at 5 a.m. every day.
The church gym. But no, I just feel like that is something that the Wisconsin Badgers are missing. They're missing that big guy that can, take over a game, right? Like you had Tanjay who can take over a game, but you're missing that big that can also go for 25 points. We just did not have that really the last couple of years, and I think that harmed the Wisconsin Badgers and their ceiling of what they could have been.
Riverton, Utah for Richie Saunders.
Riverton, Utah.
Sounds very unappealing.
The Micah Potter story, he was part of that 1920 team and that 2021 team.
Nate Reaver, same thing, same team.
I think guard would love to get more physical big guys in the mix. And I do think that the guard play for Wisconsin has gotten significantly better. You saw it this past year. You even saw it with Chucky Hepburn, and that's always been a constant with Wisconsin. I tend to be very confident in guard. I'm also confident in Shaka because of one thing, and that's the culture that he's building. I think Marquette is, to your earlier point, Kyle, from what Shaka brings beyond the basketball to the, overall attractiveness of Marquette, what he means, how he's elevated just the perception of that program. He's going to be given more opportunities than he would at a place like Texas, even with some early exits in March Madness. But he has such a commitment to culture that at some point that is going to pay dividends, because in today's college basketball landscape, when guys are going in, going out, that transient nature of the game, he's going to have a unique differentiating factor, because I don't think that they're going to have that, and he is going to be able to build something. But I do think it's going to happen in waves where he's going to build something. You have a senior class like you did last year. You can make a run, and then you're going to have some of these refresh seasons there as well. 800-990-3776. Again, 800-990-ESPN. Kevin chimes in, says Al McGuire used to call the big men aircraft carriers. Ben Gold is no aircraft carrier. Ryan chimes in, says guard has been disappointing because Wisconsin hasn't made the Sweet 16 since 2017. I get that. But again,
Bo's guys.
Everybody did the same thing with Bo. It was, hey, we don't care if he's top 4 Big Ten every single season. We don't care about the consistency. He's got to have tournament success. It's hard determining the success of an overall program based on a single elimination tournament.
Did Bo go 8 years without a Sweet 16?
I think he went 8 years with one Sweet 16.
Yeah.
I mean, they had some disappointing time. We were just talking about Alondo Tucker. I know they went out disappointing. I think they were like a 2 seed and they got put out in the second round. There were some disappointing times. I don't know. Times have changed for Wisconsin Badger basketball, because we have to understand Bo was able to build this program up to the point that they went to back-to-back Final Fours. I mean, that is extremely impressive for any, and when I say any college basketball program in this country. So what we expected for him to be able to build off the momentum and the success that Bo Ryan had built for this program, and he was not able to be consistent with that to the point where Wisconsin didn't make it to a NCAA tournament, which was something that we couldn't fathom, the fact that Wisconsin wasn't playing in a tournament. If I had to pick a coach, I'm picking Shaka Smart.
Kyle, did you know Richie Saunders' great-grandfather invented tater tots?
Oh, wow, he's rich. I love tater tots.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Thank you, Richie.
Yeah, they talked about that on the broadcast last night.
That is next level rich right there.
I question that. His great-grandfather?
His great-grandfather invented the tater tot. Yeah,
Is he from Idaho?
His lineage might be, but he's from Riverton, Utah. We just went over this.
I'm going to I'm saying if the great grandfather is.
I don't know where his lineage is from.
Well, you did.
Kyle.
Okay, I'm gonna figure this out. That seems like that's cap.
Okay,
I feel like Tater Tut's been around for a while.
Well, while you figure that out, I got to tell everybody about Thanalysis Live. Gruber Law Offices Thanalysis is coming back live for you to attend 6 days from today, March 29th at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. It starts at 7 p.m. Here is the announced guest list so far, but you never know what Thanasis and Co. have up their sleeves. Brooke Lopez, Splash Mountain will be there. NBA champion Kyle Kuzma will be there. Mr. Bucks in 6, Brandon Jennings will be there as well. You are not going to want to miss Thanalysis Live.
Oh, there's going to be more, too. I can't say it, but there's going to be more.
Oh, Greg's in the know. Don't forget, he's a big shot. He's in the know. Gruber Law Offices Thanalysis Live coming to Potawatomi Casino Hotel this Saturday, March 29th. Show begins at 7 p.m. You can get your tickets on Eventbrite. Just search Thanalysis on Eventbrite.com. EVENTBRITE.com. Search Thanalysis. Thanalysis Live 2.0 coming this Saturday, March 29th, the Potawatomi Casino Hotel.
If you haven't seen the video from last year, it was unbelievable, and it is going to be unbelievable once again on Saturday. I'm very much in the know. It is going to be a show that you do not want to miss. It is going to be fun, energizing, stars that you cannot see anywhere else, conversations you won't be able to hear anywhere else. If you are a Bucks fan, if you are a basketball fan, if you are a fan of just having a great night out, check it out, Thanalysis Live. We'll come back. We'll keep hitting some college basketball. We'll also get back to a little Aaron Rodgers talk as well, because Strofe just can't get by without some Aaron Rodgers. That's all next. Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
This is Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Fisco is always there for your auto body care. When accidents happen, Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin is there when you need them. Got a broken mirror? They'll take care of it. Dented bumper? Scratch paint? Fisco Auto Body will take care of it. If there's any damage you need fixed, Fisco has you covered. Their expert workmanship is guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. So stop in for all of your auto bumps and dings. Once again, you know the line. That's Fisco.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that American Family Insurance agents can help build a customized renter's policy so you can protect stuff like this, or this, or even this. Well, case in point. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hey, this is Jen Latta from Jen, Gabe & Chewy. One of the best decisions I've made was getting an infrared sauna from Good Health Saunas. Based right in Appleton and Waukesha, they're locally owned for 2 decades. Good Health Saunas are easy to install, cost as little as 25 cents a day, and even include a true lifetime warranty. Learn about Good Health Saunas options at goodhealthsaunas.com/Jen. And you can get $500 to $800 off your purchase. Or see them for yourself March 21st through 30th at the Realtors Home and Garden Show at State Fair Park. Remember, that's goodhealthsaunas.com/Jen.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at Right Choice Tax Resolution. We have talked with a number of new clients who told us the same story. They had a tax situation and went with one of those national firms with the TV and radio ads. You know the ones. They guarantee they can settle your tax owed for pennies on the dollar. They take a $10,000 fee up front, and then you never hear from them again. We are a local firm and just want to help you resolve your situation so you can get on with your life. Don't let your bank account get wiped out, your paycheck or Social Security get garnished, or a lien put on your house so that you can't sell it or get refinanced. The state can even put a hold on your occupational license. Make the right choice and call 844-222-1192 or visit rightchoicetax.us today. Schedule a free meeting so we can talk and come up with a solution to solve your situation now. It will not go away if you bury your head in the sand. The first meeting is free. Call now, 844-222-1192 or visit rightchoicetax.us.
Want to know know where the snow is? Snow River Mountain Resort in Michigan's UP is buried in it over 125 inches of pure natural powder this season alone. Skip the airport hassle and head to the UP's only resort with high-speed lifts. We're talking deep snow, zero crowds, and a season that stretches well into April. Why fly south when winter's best-kept secret is right here in your backyard? Make this spring break legendary at Snow River Mountain Resort. Snow River Mountain Resort, where the snow stays longer and the lines move faster. Visit snowriver.com to book now.
Being a Pella consultant means helping people build their dreams.
For Jenna, helping others find joy is so rewarding. It's why we love to do what we do.
I enjoy simplifying the process for the customer, taking the time to listen, and finding the right solution.
Randy understands that everyone's situation is different, so we don't just slap together cookie-cutter solutions.
Customers really appreciate just how prepared we are. All the samples, the videos, pictures.
Jake arrives at your free in-home consultation with pre-prepared materials to fully envision your dream Pella build.
We're with you from start to finish. You literally have a friend from beginning to end and beyond with your project.
Whether you're working with Ryan or another Pella consultant, we don't go away after the sale. We're ready with anything you may need before, during, and after installation. And right now, at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get 0% interest for up to 72 months. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 3/31/2025. Kyle Bruston Northman.
For sure.
No,
yeah,
Brad. No,
Kyle.
KBN.
If this is good Jordan Love, I'm officially concerned for the future of the team.
You're listening to ESPN Milwaukee, 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel.
I want you to know that it's our time. You and me bleed the same light.
It's Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
I'm slipping down a chain reaction. And here
Sunday Karma across ESPN Wisconsin. No Craig Karmazin, Greg Scalzo, Alex Strofe, Kyle Wallace here with you. 800-990 ESPN, 800-990-3776. That's the Carbless talk and text line. Less is more. There, Tim chimes in and says, in response to our question, are you more confident in the future of Wisconsin basketball with Greg Gard at the helm or Marquette basketball with Shaka Smart at the helm? Tim chimes in and says, I went to and therefore root for UW Green Bay. If either Marquette or Wisconsin want to trade coaches, I would be fine with that.
Oh, that's a shot at friend of show Doug Gottlieb. That's too bad.
Friend of Alex Strofe, Doug Gottlieb.
No, friend of show.
He is friend of show.
Friend of Sunday Karma, not friend of Alex Strofe.
You got to give him another year. Got to give him another year.
Yeah, he gets another year.
What did you just say? He told us a lie?
Yeah, listen, I'm excited about my guys come.
He did say nobody would want to see them in March, and they did lose.
I would love to have seen them last night against the Badgers.
I think most people would. 800-990-3776. Feel free to keep the comments coming. Give us a call. We will open up the phone lines here as well. But I do want to get back to something we were talking to Jason Wilde about because Alex Strofe is very caught up in the Aaron Rodgers
just a little sensitive
drama. Why does it bother you that Rodgers is still at the forefront of NFL conversation? Because, to me, the world is made up of interesting people. Is a better world than not interesting people. The NFL with more interesting quarterbacks is much more interesting place than not having any interesting quarterbacks. And Aaron Rodgers is at the forefront of that, right? The idea of the NFL without Aaron Rodgers, who's the next most interesting quarterback?
That's a great question. I mean,
they're very boring now.
It's very different than the interesting, using the word interesting to describe Aaron Rodgers. Lamar Jackson would probably be the guy that comes to mind.
Why do you say Lamar?
Just because I think he's
a pretty quiet guy.
He's very quiet.
He's quiet, but he's fashion. He's terrific.
Fashion?
It's fun to watch. Yeah, he always makes fashion statements. His press conferences are. I always find them entertaining.
He's come to press conferences with his pads on before.
He does.
Cam Newton is the one that is a fashion statement.
That is another level. Joe Burrow, maybe.
Oh, see now, Joe. Now, see, I like Joe.
Burrow might be a little bit interesting.
He's invited to the cookout.
Josh Allen's pretty boring. He's great.
And part of the reason why they're boring is because
design.
They're boring by design and there are no flaws there. Like the most interesting people out there, right? Like there's a reason why people still talk about
That's a really good question.
Why people still talk about an Alexander Hamilton, right? There's a reason why
Alexander Hamilton.
Exactly, right? Like how many other founding fathers do you have a Emmy award-winning, Tony award-winning play about? Like Steve Jobs is a business leader who has one of the most successful biographies of all time. It's not because he was this like perfectly packaged, boring guy without flaws. It's the exact opposite of that. It is the people who have an entirety of like their character where you actually understand, and you're sitting here being like, no, I just want more Jordan Loves out there, right? Somebody who's boring by design.
Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston.
He just signed with the Giants.
Yeah,
no,
Jameis Winston is very interesting, but he's not very good.
This sucks. This sucks. The
really hard
NFL is so boring. These quarterbacks are so boring.
That's my point.
We need to get some. Where's the
we got to
controversy?
appreciate Aaron Rodgers while we still have him.
I mean, this is
but hold on. He can be interesting under contract. It's not like he's only interesting because he doesn't have a contract signed, Greg.
Certainly makes it far more interesting.
It doesn't make it more interesting. It makes it more irritating because he is holding up. Well, not really anymore because people are just going to work around.
But irritating is a feeling. If not for Aaron Rodgers, what's the next most interesting NFL offseason story right now?
My gosh. Kirk Cousins. He has some boring swag. I'm just going through the list.
What's the most? Trey Hendrickson is it's still more interesting to me than Aaron Rodgers.
this guy who like is under contract by the Bengals.
That hasn't said anything.
Well, he is under contract.
He hasn't said,
contract he's not going to play.
But he hasn't said anything. Like even Myles Garrett.
Talk to the Super Bowl.
No, I'm talking about complaining. Anything. There's no real drama. This is a drama-free league right now. I guess
so. Greg is making the case that he wants the NFL to be a soap opera rather than stagnant at this time.
Sports is a soap opera. If it wasn't for the actual like characters that we know, the games don't become interesting. It's why men's college basketball last year was boring and it didn't produce ratings, and women's college basketball outrated them because we knew the characters. We knew Angel Reese. We knew Kim Mulkey. We knew Caitlin Clark. Like that, sports is a soap opera.
Yeah.
It is.
You're right.
You're right.
And when you don't have interesting characters, it becomes kind of boring.
I don't know that that's true for the NFL. I think you can make that case for other leagues. I think the NFL is always going to be king. It is always going to be interesting. There will always be manufactured storylines, no matter if there's Aaron Rodgers or not Aaron Rodgers.
Well, who's the most popular player in the NFL right now?
Patrick Mahomes.
No, not even close.
Who is it?
Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce is by far the most popular NFL player, and he I think Steven Crowell could beat him in a race at this point. The reason why he's popular is because he's dating a pop star in Taylor Swift.
They didn't play it up as much this year as they did the last.
No, they didn't. But it was still a fascinating storyline. You're right. I guess when you take into account the Swifties, Travis Kelce would be the most popular superstar in the NFL.
He's a tight end.
But when it comes to
heard of,
when Aaron Rodgers calls it quits, which I still hope. Now, despite my irritation, I still hope doesn't happen for a few years. The NFL is going to be just fine without him. They're going to find a new villain. They're going to find somebody else who's seeking attention and going on McAfee, yada, yada, yada. There will always be another guy that fills that role. Aaron Rodgers is fascinating because I still think, as I said earlier, he's got tread left on the tires. I still think he can be a good quarterback, and I will root for him to be a good quarterback. This is not me saying I hate Aaron Rodgers and everything about him. I still think he can be a good player. I just hate that it's me all the time. I hate that he is the one that is holding up the NFL offseason wondering, which team's going to sign a quarterback? It's because Aaron Rodgers needs to make the decision, not the team's making a decision on a 41-year-old quarterback. The Pittsburgh Steelers seem like the easy answer. Why is Aaron Rodgers not making it the easy answer? Because he's Aaron Rodgers. That's why I'm irritated. I don't hate Aaron Rodgers. I hate this about Aaron Rodgers.
He's not your problem anymore, though. The me becomes like...
He's the NFL's problem, and I'm an NFL fan.
Okay.
I'm a Packers fan first,
so if he already just signs, then again, now what are we talking about? Trey Hendrickson, where does he go? That's exciting. Like, I mean, it's fun for me to see this play out, especially with somebody who is eccentric as an Aaron Rodgers is.
Sure, and I hear you on that.
You're going to miss him when he's gone.
You don't have winning.
We're going to miss him when he's gone, that's for sure.
Do we talk about your fandom on the air? Because I'm going to do it, even if we don't. You're a Patriots fan, right?
Yeah, you can talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was on the record or not. So you're a Patriots fan. You don't have a lot to look forward to this year. Now, they spent a lot of money.
It's not true. Drake May.
Drake May looks like he could be the guy. I agree with you. But it's not like you have Super Bowl aspirations like you're used to, right?
No.
So you are paying attention to the other drama, the Aaron Rodgers of the world.
I'm still locked in on the Patriots, but I'm also locked in on the NFL in the same way.
When it comes to my fandom, I'm like, are these guys going to take the next step? Are they finally Super Bowl good? Is Jordan Love really as good as I think he can be?
I think the Packers are still another step away from Super Bowl good. Let's focus on actually, being a contender before we talk about winning a Super
contender.
Bowl.
Don't act like they're not a contender.
They're I don't know about a Super Bowl contender, but we can save that for a future Sunday Karma.
We sure can.
We do have to take a break, but first, Kyle's going to tell us all about our friends at Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Now, y'all know I love me some Gruber Law Offices, and I want you to love them as well. It's always one call, that's all with Gruber Law Offices because they truly take care of you. See, they are passionate about helping people and truly making a difference on the behalf of their clients, but also the community. Their firm has over 130 professional staff and attorneys who are dedicated. Yes, they're dedicated to handling serious injuries and accidents as well. So again, if you are a loved one is ever injured in an accident, do not hesitate to make one call, that's all, to Gruber Law Offices because they will take care of you. And you know what I love about them? I love, and when you make that one call, that's all, they never make you pay a single penny, not a single cent until they win your case. Get with the leading law firm today by calling 414-276-6666. That's 414-276-6666 or visit them at gruber-law.com. It's one call, that's all with Gruber Law Offices.
Palermo's picks with an eye towards opening day in Major League Baseball coming up next on Sunday Karma across ESPN Wisconsin.
You're listening to Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com. All day, every day. The Carbless talk and text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless talk and text line. This is more. Station updates, show clips, and your place to interact with us every single day just by scrolling through your feed. Follow along on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at ESPN Milwaukee.
Save big on everything for your next project when you shop at Menards. It's the perfect time to start planning for outdoor projects. Loctite Landscape Construction Adhesive works great for securing blocks, bricks, and stone. It's a true all-weather application that's water resistant. Save big on Loctite adhesives when you shop at Menards. Plus, check out the weekly flyer on Menards.com for plenty more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Wisconsin is still cattle country, and that's why Bunzel's chose to stay close to home to hand select the finest beef. Quality goes into everything they do, from Bunzel's expansive array of meats, homemade specialty sausages, and their award-winning beef jerky. It just isn't a proper holiday meal without Bunzel's top quality cuts on the dinner table. Tasting is believing. Visit Bunzel's at 90th and Burleigh or bunzels.com.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
It's ESPN Milwaukee's Kyle Walls for Universal Windows Direct. The tax time sale is going on now, and they'll make your wallet even happier by paying no interest until 2030. Schedule your free in-home estimate today.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
So many of our youth carry unimaginable burdens. Anger, depression, even thoughts of suicide. At Rawhide Youth Services, we recognize their pain. We help them find hope and healing. For those that need a second chance at life, we refuse to give up on them. Please be a part of our life-saving work. When you donate your used vehicle to Rawhide, you're helping change the lives of countless youth in our communities. Go to rawhide.org/donate and help them realize a brighter future today.
Nestled along the shores of Lake Michigan, the Knickerbocker Hotel offers a timeless escape in the heart of Milwaukee. Immerse yourself in the rich history of this iconic landmark where charm meets modern luxury. Picture yourself enjoying breathtaking lake views, luxurious rooms, and dining at one of the finest restaurants in the city. Whether you're visiting for a weekend getaway or a special occasion, the Knickerbocker promises an unforgettable experience. Your perfect stay awaits at the Knickerbocker Hotel. For more information and to book your next stay, visit knickerbockerontheLake.com.
For more than 40 years, Network Health has been the trusted experts in health plans. Just like you, they're honest, hardworking, and grateful to call Wisconsin home. Whether you're seeking coverage for yourself, your family, or your employees, Network Health has you covered with a range of options, including individual and family marketplace plans, employer plans, and Medicare Advantage plans. Call Steve Fluellen, Saganiac Planning, 262-783-6161. 262-783-6161. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service. The Saganiac Planning Marquette basketball greatest scorers. Marcus Howard has all the records at Marquette, and his greatness might also be best explained by saying he passed George Thompson. Thompson, 1,773 points when finishing in 1969. It was the Marquette career mark until 2009, 40 years later. And with Marcus Howard, Thompson the only player averaging over 20 points per game for a career. George Thompson, not number one, but he belongs in the same room with Marcus Howard.
It's that time.
Yes, it's finally here.
Craig makes his picks of the week.
You can bet the house on it.
Picks of the week on Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin. Presented by Palermo's Pizza, Wisconsin's hometown pizza.
Can't wait to see what happens next.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Wrapping up Sunday Karma here across the ESPN Wisconsin. Greg Scalzo, Alex Strofe, Kyle Wallace. Big one tonight. Wisconsin, Ohio State, NCAA Women's Hockey National Championship. Kyle, before you were talking about Wisconsin sports, how much heartbreak there is, not winning a lot of championships. Mark Johnson puts that all to rest because Wisconsin women's hockey is a dominant force, and they're going to do it again today, 3 p.m. Central Time in Minneapolis is going to be the puck drop for tonight.
Mark Johnson has been the head coach. He's in his 21st season. He is seeking his 8th national championship. This is the, I got to do math now, 13th time he's been in the national championship game in 21 years. That is legitimately absurd. No matter what sport, no matter what division, no matter what you're talking about. I don't care if you're coaching a second-grade hoops team. 15 national championship appearances in 21 years, or 13, whatever I said.
Crazy.
It's ridiculous. So shout out to the Lady Badgers, and I saw Casey O'Brien named the National Player of the Year last night. All 3 finalists this year for the National Player of the Year were from the University of Wisconsin. Unheard of. Only the second time in history that's happened where all 3 finalists for the National Player of the Year came from the same
Why can't
university.
women's basketball match this then?
It's a great question.
Don't have the right coach so far. I mean, right?
We'll see who it becomes, but yeah, you're totally right.
I mean, that's kind of where it is. I do think we should give a shout-out opening day this week as well. Brewers taking on the Yankees on the 27th. This week in New York, Milwaukee plus 145 on the money line. My Palermo pick. Take the Brewers. Brewers are set up for a big year. Jackson Chourio batting .477 in spring training. Woo! MVP candidate this year. Those are our Palermo's picks. We all know the world's greatest frozen pizza, Palermo's. Check it out. Urban Pie, Screamin' Sicilian. Any brand you get from Palermo's, you are going to absolutely love. So get them in your local freezers aisle. Local grocer's freezer.
There you go. You got there.
We got there. Big thanks to you all for chiming in today. We will be back next week in some form or fashion. This has been Sunday Karma across ESPN Wisconsin.
Peace.
This is ESPN Wisconsin and ESPNWisconsin.com.
Look what I found.
What is it?
It's a list of the traditional and modern anniversary gifts for each year of marriage.
Sarah